how do I prioritize myself, my own peace of mind, my own emotions? How do I prioritize dealing with those things safely while not turning a blind eye to everything that's happening and not becoming really selfish and insular about it? Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about prioritizing yourself in and amongst all of the things that are happening and all of the noise that can be going on in our heads. I saw this quote on Pinterest which really stuck out to me. You're the only one who's there for yourself, and not in a bleak way, but in like a very almost defiant way, an affirming way of like, yeah, I'm the one who gets myself out of bed in the morning. I'm the one who chooses what to wear. I'm the one who decides what I'm going to eat, or decides I need to go for a walk today to deal with my mental health, or, you know, like I am the one who's constantly looking after myself, and I do deserve credit for that. But it's weird to like think of me and the person I'm looking after, think of it as two separate people. Like, it is all me, part of me that's just feeling everything and going with the day and being like, oh no, what's this? And then the other part of me is reacting to that and being like, oh, I've not eaten for a while, I need to go eat something. That might be why I'm so emotional. You know, it's all one thing, but it feels like multiple things. And if you've read the book No Bad Parts, you will know that that is a theory, that we do have loads of different parts of ourselves and we can operate from those different parts at any time. Your different parts can be different ages, from different times of your life. They can be built to protect you, built with a certain worldview, certain core beliefs. Those things can all like pop up at different times, which is why you can then have really weird, unmanageable reactions to things. And you're like, where did that come from? And it's like, oh, that's a part of me that was feeling unsafe from when I was like 5 and had learned whatever lesson about the world, right? Just trying to balance the need to be there for other people with the need to look after yourself and not like betray yourself in the process of helping someone else. I am the only one who's there for me at the end of the day, and I'm also quite aware that this could be a hyper independence thing. So independence is good. It's good to be like, I want to live by myself, or I look after my own money, or I deal with my own emotions. Like, independence, very good, we like that. Hyper independence is not good. And I do know that this like self-care, like I'm going to put myself first, prioritize myself, I know that can bring out some hyper independence qualities if you are that way inclined. So that is something to bear in mind. It's difficult sometimes. You can come back to yourself and prioritize yourself and think, what do I need outside of all of the noise, outside of my obligations to different people or different people going through different things? What do I need to prioritize for myself instead of constantly thinking about what other people need from you? Mindfulness can be one really helpful way to prioritize yourself, or just like give yourself some space. But I think also just not rushing, forcing yourself to like keep moving and keep going, like on to the next thing. Oh, I'm going here, I'm doing this now. It's like, no, calm down, like take a breath. You don't have to walk really quickly. You don't have to like be rushing to the next thing. Calm down. That is what I'm trying to do a bit more. I woke up this morning before my alarm, and I was like, I'm gonna let myself chill instead of getting up and doing things. But then I put on my makeup, I put on a nice outfit, I've now got changed, I put on some nice jewellery, I wore my boots, and my feet kind of hurt now because there's a lot of walking. I walked into town to collect my disposable camera photos and to pick up some things. I went to the library, I got some cards that my granny wanted me to buy for her. On the one hand, I'm really proud because I put on like a really smart outfit. Like I said, I wore these, I wore my nice trousers, I wore my jacket, my makeup I think is very nice today. But I was boiling hot. I think I need to live somewhere where it's cold all the time. I just want to wear, like, I don't know if you can see it. This was the jacket I was wearing. I just want to wear like jackets, long trousers or a long skirt, a scarf. I had my scarf, the one on the wall there. I was wearing that. I was just boiling hot. So I get home and immediately I have to get completely changed because I'm just like, I can't deal with that sensory overload. And even like being in the shops, I just felt like very like, I need to, because I was boiling hot, I couldn't like enjoy actually looking around because I was like, you might be like, well, you should have just taken off your jacket then. But I hadn't planned on that. So I was just wearing like a not very nice t-shirt underneath. It's just like, and as I was walking, I was like, slow down, like stop rushing. We don't have to rush. This is my day off, like we can chill. Don't have to be in a rush. But even so, it still was a bit rushed because I was boiling hot. Maybe when it gets to winter, I'll be like, oh no, it's too cold, I don't like it. But I don't know if I will, because I do like wearing layers and not having to think about like how my body looks, I guess. I'm just like, oh yes, I'm wearing, you know, that's an oversized jacket and I wear wide leg trousers. So I'm glad I got the things done I needed to get done. But while I felt put together walking into town, on the way back I was like, you know, like my hair was a mess because it was really windy, and I was just like, oh, yeah, it's like, it's nice to feel dressed up, but I didn't actually feel it walking back. I felt like boiling hot and like quite, I don't want to say claustrophobic, I just mean like I couldn't wait to get changed. Such a shame. But then I'm like, well, other people don't know that. As long as I look like poised, elegant, the idea of me being elegant, but as long as I look a certain way, I am feeling whatever I'm feeling, but other people are just looking at what they can see. So I'm like, just walk slowly, like take it slow, it's fine. Other people aren't seeing me like being harried basically and being like, oh my gosh. But inside I was like, oh my gosh. Really happy with my makeup. I could have done some eyeshadow, but I didn't. And I got my eye makeup remover because in my glow up diaries, the last episode, I mentioned that I've been using coconut oil to take off my eye makeup and just my makeup in general. The last time I wore a lot of makeup, I had an allergic reaction, or just my eyes were very puffy and red the next morning. And so I was like, maybe it's the coconut oil that's doing that. Maybe it's the eyeshadow. I've got rid of the eyeshadow. It was a very old palette, but I bought this, so I now have some proper like eye makeup remover. I am feeling good. Maybe this is a time to like restart the glow up diaries and try and be more put together, because I did enjoy as well walking into town looking really dressed up, because I can't remember what I was reading, but it's like other people don't know what you're doing. So if you look really dressed up, people might just assume like, oh, you're on your way to an event, or like, oh, they must be going to an interview, or they're going to the station to work. Whereas I was just literally walking into town to do like a few errands. So it doesn't matter. Like I was like, oh, am I overdressed? Like I feel, you know, normally I would just wear like jeans and a oversized jumper like this. But I was like, no, I want to dress up today. Other people don't know. For all they know, I'm on my way to an interview, or I'm on my way to like a fancy lunch. I want to get more into the headspace of like, you can never be overdressed. And I put this on my autumn vision board. You can never be overdressed or overeducated. And I'm like, yeah, I think I want to take that with me into the week. So we'll see how we get on. Testing, hello. Little Things series is a series on my channel to help you notice and appreciate the little things in your life. I've just finished work and I'm now supposed to be doing some editing or some filming. I guess I am doing the filming. I had in mind to film another video, but my morning has just made it that I don't really feel like I'm in the right headspace to make that specific video, which is annoying. And I don't know if I'm too accommodating. It seems like other people, I'll be there for them when they're struggling, but then when I'm struggling, people just say like, oh, you're okay, you'll get over it, or oh, it's the weekend now. And I'm like, that's not really what I was looking for. Like, I should have said the same to you when you were struggling. Oh, you'll get over it. Like, is so patronizing. And it's just like, oh, well, I should just say nothing then, because it's worse when you try and reach out to someone and they say something like that. That is worse than if you just never said anything to begin with. It's like, I would prefer to be alone, because then if I'm alone, I can deal with that and be like, okay, I'm alone and I'm feeling whatever. But when I'm with other people, it's like, okay, I'm with you, but I can't actually talk about what I'm dealing with. So I feel more alone, because I should be able to talk to you about what I'm dealing with, but I can't. So it's just easier to be on my, like, it would be better to be on my own. It's just, that's not a nice headspace to be in. So that, along with at work, they keep asking me to use AI, and it's really bad for the environment. So I feel really guilty every time I use it. And aside from, like, it's not about how I feel, it is bad for the environment, so I don't want to use it. But aside from that, it's like, if you're just gonna ask a machine to do my job, why am I here? Like, it's taking the creative element of my role and giving it to a machine, but I then still have extra work to do because I then have to sift through all of the AI responses. So it's giving me different work that is then not even creatively fulfilling. And it's also making me feel worse than a machine, because it's like the machine comes up with really vague, terrible answers. Like, the AI is not giving what we need, but the only reason we had to resort to using it was because I couldn't come up with the thing that the person wanted. Obviously, work is nothing to do with how I feel, it's not about that, but I just mean in terms of considering this role going forward. At least before, there was more creative elements, but now it's like, oh, if that's not even going to be a part of it, and my job is now going to be like editing AI responses, and then that's still not going to be good enough. You know, part of me wants to stay and see it play out and be like, look, see, the AI didn't provide us with anything that we couldn't already do ourselves. It's not going to make up an answer that you want, right? Like, if the information that we need does not exist, the AI, yes, it can, they do make up things, but I mean, in terms of this specific project, if the information does not already exist, you're not going to get what you want by asking an AI to provide you with some responses, because the responses are so vague anyway. It just feels like going in a circle with it. So it's not about how I feel, obviously, it's my job, I need to do the work, but I already have been, you know, considering like how long I want to continue doing this specific role. And I'm like, if this is what it's going to be like, along with all the other things that I'm not really going to talk about, but if this is what it's like to just be using AI all the time, it's very frustrating because I feel like a terrible employee, because I'm like, I can't even make something better than a machine who's producing this vague work. I know there could be other things that are out there that are better, I just don't feel right in it. But I'm like, well, isn't this what being a grown-up is like? You have a job that you don't like, right? I don't get how people do that. One thing if you're like, I need this job to provide for my family, but I'm like, I feel like I'm giving away the only resource that we have, which is the most important thing we have, which is time. And I'm not even being, like, in my mind, fairly compensated for my time. And aside from that, it's then affecting me outside of work, because then now I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm dreading going back in. I'm gonna have to resume this work with this AI, and it's just like, it is not the answer. It's just like the worst kind of people use it and think it's some great thing. And I'm like, if I had produced the same list of options that the AI had produced, they would have looked at it and been like, this is pathetic, like, how dare you even suggest all this stuff. But because AI's done it, it's like, oh yeah, now we can put this in and this could work, blah blah blah. But I'm like, if I gave you that same list, you would be like, this is not usable, go away. The way some people are with it. And the thing of, when you start asking, how do you know when to quit your job? When you're asking that question, it's probably the time. But I've been looking for other things and I can't find anything that's the same kind of role with the same kind of hours. But I'm like, realistically, I cannot see myself doing this for very much longer, because it's affecting me outside, and I can't. So typical that when I started to think, oh, I've settled into a nice rhythm with this and it's going nicely, now this has happened again. And like, literally last Friday, I was like, this is it, I'm going to quit because I can't be doing with it. But now I'm like, again, we've reached Friday and I'm like, I can't keep going with it. But then what would I do? Like, why are all of the options miserable? And then it's like, well, that's your fault, you need to be more upbeat or whatever. But it's like, all the momentum that I had for the day is just gone. I'm tired of pouring into these relationships, you know, having very long phone calls and keeping up with people who then, when you in return turn to them for support, they're just like, you can do it. I'm like, that's not what I was looking for, actually. Like, you were able to go on and on at me on a phone call for, you know, hours, and that was clearly my fault. Because when I come to you and say I'm struggling, you're then like, oh, it's okay, you can do it. So not appropriate and very unkind. But then even saying that to them, then they're like, she's just whatever. I'm like, I know. You know, growing up was told I'm way too sensitive, I'm way too much. I'm already aware of anything you're going to say. It's not asking too much to want to be supported if you're struggling. That is not asking too much. And if it is, I don't want to know you. Because that's not how any relationships work. But I hate how then it makes me feel it makes me then think about all of my relationships as transactional, because I'm like, oh, will this person be there for me? They're talking to me now about this thing, but will they be there for me? No? Well, then I shouldn't listen to them now. But then it's like, that's such a horrible way of viewing things as well. I'm just tired of always being left to deal with things by myself. Why does everyone else get to struggle with things and talk about it and it's fine, but as soon as I ask for anything, it's too much? Anyway, I wanted to do a boots haul. I got all this stuff, some of it for Christmas presents. I hope no one I know is watching this, but like, look away if you do know me, because I may be about to show you your Christmas present. So I got another one of these. I've been using this multiple times a week, not every day, 4 or 5 times a week maybe. Really helped clear out my skin. I mean, I know I've got some spots, so, you know, but like, that's probably because I've been eating loads of sugar. I got these pillow mists from Cowshed. I love this brand. I have one of their candles and I've got the pillow spray, and they were doing a 3 for 2 offer. So I got this as well. And I love this scent. This is the candle that I have. So one of these I got free. I think I will keep one of these for when my pillow spray runs out. And then these 2 I think will give as a gift for someone. Maybe my sister. I know that some people view shower gel or like bath products, they view it as like a bit of a cop-out present. But to me, I'm like, I love that stuff. So if someone gives me that, I'm like, oh, this is so cool, like a new shower gel, you know? But I know that other people might get this and be like, oh, cool, like a shower gel, you know? But to me, I'm like, oh, I'd be so happy if someone got me this. But I don't know, maybe I'll just end up keeping it for myself. We were just talking about like pouring into relationships that you feel you don't get equal back. Why am I pouring into other people? If I know I like this, maybe I should just keep it for myself. I also got some boring stuff, like some new soap, and they had an offer on Vaseline, so I got 3 of these tins because I know I use them and I like them. I got this because that was on sale. Probably smells nice. Oh, this was one of the main things that I wanted to get. It's a eye pencil sharpener. My current one I've had for probably like 14 years and it's broken, so. And then I got a new white pencil boots collection. It was like £1. I got some toothpaste. I got a new toothbrush just because I felt like I need to replace mine. I don't know, I do use an electric toothbrush, but I have that on the side. I got some other soap. I got this because I don't have any SPF at the moment. I was looking at different reviews and I was like, the amount of time I'm spending looking up different things, this one looks good. You know, if I'm viewing my time as money, I'm paid $12.50 an hour. If I'm spending an hour looking up what sunscreen and then I'm spending £8 on top of that, I've then spent basically like 2 hours worth of my time. I don't like thinking of it like that, but I was like, the only way you're gonna know is to try, right? Everyone is different, so this might react badly with me or it might be fine, but we'll just have to try and see. But it's got the same niacinamide ingredient as this, which now I'm saying it is maybe a bad idea. Maybe then I'll be having too much, but that's supposed to mean that it's good for your skin, for keeping your skin clear. And it's SPF 50. And I really actually was quite surprised that I couldn't find many SPFs that weren't also moisturizers. So I think you can either use this as a moisturizer or on top of your moisturizer, which is good because I already have a moisturizer. Like I don't need, like I want something that is actually sunscreen, not just like, oh, this is your daily moisturizer, but it's got SPF 15 in it. It's like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And I don't want like a normal sunscreen because then that's really greasy. That's fine if you're like going on holiday and you need to put loads on and reapply it every time you get out of the pool or whatever. Saying that, what is the last time I ever went on holiday? I want something particularly for my face, something that's going to be non-greasy and that I can use every day without it feeling like I'm wearing sunscreen, you know? So we'll give this a try. It seemed to have some good reviews. It says it's invisible and matte. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I hope it's good. These I'm also going to give as presents, I think. Although, again, maybe I should just be focusing on pouring into myself instead of these people who clearly don't care. Because I feel like I can be, you know, I like putting together gift boxes. But it's like, if then they're just going to turn around and give me something that doesn't have as much thought, I then feel really sad because I feel then really pathetic. Because I'm like, oh, I put so much effort in and I'm clearly not worth the effort on their end. And maybe that's just the kind of person they are. Like maybe they don't do gifts or they don't care about gifts in the same way. I don't know. But to me then I'm like, why am I putting in effort when no one else is? I'm so done with that. I got a pomegranate one as well. And then I got these. They were on some kind of offer, I can't remember, so I did not pay full price and I would not pay full price, but as they were on an offer, I was like, these are nice as a gift, or for me. So yeah, that is a complete haul. Let me show you. This is what I got. So yeah, quite happy with that. Excited about these. I think this is such a cool gift. It's so nice. I love spraying this on my pillow every night. It smells so good. Essential oils of lemon, myrtle, melissa and valerian. I think it also has lavender in it. It certainly smells lavender. It smells amazing. Let me show you the back. Maybe it's not got lavender in it. I love it so much. So whoever gets that, I hope you actually use it because it's amazing. And yeah, I'll probably keep those for myself because at this point, I need to be looking after me instead of trying to look after everybody else. Can you tell I'm the eldest daughter? I was worried that that clip that you just saw was a bit more dramatic than it actually was. I've edited it this morning and I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like, yes, that was yesterday and I was really struggling. And to be honest, I've woken up with a lot of the same feelings regarding work. I mean, it's the weekend, so I shouldn't be thinking about work, but it's still coming up. And part of me is like, well, yeah, that's normal. And like, I need to make a decision to not let it affect me or to just be like, okay, this is what your role is now. Deal with it, right? Like, there are lots of good things about my job and of course I appreciate it, and it's like to stop viewing your job as like the sole thing that gives you purpose and meaning and instead just view it as a means to an end of like, okay, this will earn me money and I like being able to save money, or to like, I just went through like Christmas presents or like boot stuff, like toiletry stuff. I like being able to buy the things that I need without like stressing about it. I like being able to buy gifts for people that are thoughtful, like viewing it more like that than being like, oh my gosh, it's so awful. But it's just so easy to get carried away in my emotions. And I don't want to say that because that's like the stereotype of, oh, women are so emotional or whatever. I'm like, no. I think, to be honest, this is probably an alcoholic thing or I don't know what thing, but like it's just so much. I don't understand how other people do it. Literally, I had the thought yesterday. I was like, sometimes I just want to shoot myself in the head because my brain will not shut up. Like, obviously that is quite a violent image and I'm sorry, but like I wasn't meaning it seriously. It's just like, why is there always something going on? Like, why do I have to be viewing things from a like philosophical lens all the time, or like be looking at why can't I just like look at things on the surface? Like, I was looking at like buying a cotton t-shirt because like this cardigan is really nice, but it's also quite hot. It's making me feel quite hot, and like, it's November. Why is it still so warm? Like, why am I feeling boiling hot? I went for a walk this morning and I was like, I need to take my jumper off, and I'm like, how is it November? I'm wandering around in a t-shirt. Like, what is happening? So I was looking at like finding a pure cotton top because this is not cotton, so it's like it's making me more hot. So I'm like, I need to start paying more attention to the fabric compositions of things. So I was looking up this company and I was like, oh, they do cotton stuff, cool. But then I find out they've been bought recently by a company based in Israel, and it's like, if you're boycotting Starbucks, if you're boycotting McDonald's, if you're boycotting all these products, all of these companies, then you can't buy from this company. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad I know that. Like, I'm glad I looked on Reddit and just like double checked and saw like reviews of this company. If I'm spending money on something, I want to know that it's either going to the right place, I support the mission of it, or that it's just going to be a good quality product. And on both fronts, in terms of who you're giving your money to, but also the quality of it, people on Reddit had differing opinions and were like, is this worth it? Whatever. So I'm glad that I had a look, but it's just like, why is everything so exhausting? Right, like, why do I have to think about everything? And it's like, okay, now I can't buy from that company. Okay, fine, I need to go back to the drawing board and find like another company that sells like pure cotton t-shirts or whatever. And it's just like, even yesterday I was looking just for fun at different winter coats because I don't have a winter coat. I mean, again, if things carry on the way they're going, I will not need a coat because I'm literally walking around in a t-shirt in November, you know? So maybe it doesn't matter that I have a coat. I have plenty of jackets, I've got scarves, like I've got things that I can layer if it does get really cold. But I was looking at these coats, I'm looking at the fabric composition. It's like 100% polyester. And I'm like, how are they selling this jacket for £60 when it's 100% polyester? Or even some of the coats were like wool blend or wool mix, but the wool would only be like 10% of the entire thing. Or it wouldn't say anything about the composition in the title. It would just look like this really luxurious coat, like this nice heavyweight trench coat, winter coat, long, nice fabric, like it looks very nice. They're selling it for like £140, but then you look at the composition and it's 100% polyester. Why are you buying that? I understand that for some things you do need polyester, like if you're going hiking or whatever, you don't want to wear something that's cotton. I don't know, I'm just like, why are people spending so much money on something? They're just tricking you. But that's a whole separate rant. But again, like, why do I care about that? Like, I've seen Jennifer Wang, her account, she goes to different shops and like looks at the quality of their clothing and is like, is this worth the price? Is this a good investment? Or even just like looking at high street shops like Zara or H&M, like going in there and like pointing out like, look at this stitching, or look at the way the buttons are, or look at the way that it's been finished, or look at the way that it's hanging, or look at the composition. Like she's pointing out all these different things, and I'm like, it is really cool, and I do love learning new things, but I'm like, that's just another thing to add to all the noise in my head of like, oh, what fabric are you wearing today? Oh, it's really bad to wear 100% acrylic because it's bad for your skin, or it's bad, you know, it's got like whatever microplastics or whatever. I'm just like, why is there always something? Kind of wanted this video to be called again, you can't self-care your way out of capitalism, because that seems to be the ongoing theme of like the stuff that I'm experiencing week by week. Have you seen the thing about throw away all of your black plastic kitchenware because it's made with like recycled electronic waste, and then you're using that in a pan? Like if you've got a black plastic spatula or a plastic ladle, and then you're using that with heat to flip over a burger, or using your ladle for soup, and it's like, that's then whatever chemicals, it's been made with electronic waste and it's leaching into the thing. There was a article in the Atlantic, I will link it, and it's just like constantly this thing of like the air is poison, there's all these chemicals everywhere, you have to think about everything. And I don't mean it like that, because it's good to think about things and be aware of the environmental impact, like that is a good thing, but I feel sometimes like I'm going slightly crazy because I'm thinking so much about everything all the time, and other people are just like blindly going through their life, you know? They say that ignorance is bliss, right? How do I prioritize myself or my own like sanity? Like, it can't be that I prioritize my own peace of mind by just switching off and turning a blind eye. Like, that can't be the answer, and yet it seems to be that for so many other people. And with my job, I trust that the right thing will happen and that I'll make the right decision, but it's a really unpleasant environment mentally to be in and emotionally, but it's a job. Like, it's not supposed to be this amazing thing. But then I'm like, why is the bar so low? Like, why are we like, oh yes, your job is supposed to make you miserable, like that's normal? I'm like, why? Why are we all just accepting this? Why can't you be like, I want to find purpose in my work? You spend enough time doing it, right? Like, I only have a part-time job, but like, you spend enough time doing this thing and it's not giving you any joy, it's just giving you money. Like, what a trade-off. Like, how has that been allowed to happen? But anyway, I don't want to like get too political with it. Part of that is definitely, for me, slowing down and trying to do some mindfulness so that all of the noise in my head can be quiet, or can at least be observed, and I'm not like getting caught up in it and it's not happening in the background. Then when I'm being mindful, doing, for example, like sitting here for 5 minutes and doing mindfulness and just doing some breathing, it's then like I am above the noise, all of the thoughts, and I'm just looking down and being like, oh, it's a mess down there. Look at all this stuff that's happening and all of the thoughts that are going, but I'm not in them. Whereas like now I have in the background all of these things that are going and going and going, and it's like, oh my gosh, can you please be quiet? I'm trying to do this, right? Like, I'm trying to focus on doing this, and at the same time there's all this noise. If you're struggling at the moment, or if you, like me, have 50 million and one thoughts going on in your head, and it's just sometimes like, please be quiet, please leave me alone, like, please. If you are dealing with the same thing, you are not alone. It is good to think about things and analyze things and reflect, but I wish I had like a resolution for this, but I guess it's just more like, this is something to be aware of and to think more about. Like, how do I prioritize myself, my own peace of mind, my own space, my own emotions? How do I prioritize dealing with those things safely while not turning a blind eye to everything that's happening and not becoming really selfish and insular about it? I guess maybe it's a good thing to be so aware. It doesn't feel like it. It feels awful to think about things so much, but I mean, there has to be a reason why, or there has to be some benefit, even if it's not immediately obvious. Anyway, I will leave my you can't self-care your way out of capitalism video because I mentioned it, and it's sort of a sister video to this video, I guess. So I'll leave that on the screen if you want to watch that next. God bless, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.